What is church? People would answer that in a variety of ways. I would think most people would answer it something like this. Well, it's the place that we go to on Sundays and all the things that we do when we get there.
When some people hear the word church, they think of a large gathering like this mega church. Sometimes others think of an image like this, maybe a smaller building. And then there are those who think of it like this, no building at all.
So here's a question for you to think about. What do you have to have in order to have a church? Do you have to have a building and property? Do you need a steeple on the roof? Do you need stained glass windows? Do you have to have a paid minister and staff? Do you have to have a choir, a full band, worship team? Do you have to have meetings on Sunday morning, Sunday night, and Wednesday night in order to actually be a church? You know, these are the things that we often think about that you got to have if you're going to have a church. If you're a church, that's what you do. But it makes me wonder, what is the irreducible minimum of having a church? Well, for me, it all comes down to three things. People in relationship on a mission. That's it. If you have people in relationship with God and in relationship with one another, and they're on a common mission, that is God's mission, they're on mission with Him to make disciples, then you've got a church. You don't have to have all the other things, all of the other trappings. Now, they're fine, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's wrong to have those things, or that it's even not a good thing when you have them. It can be. But the problem comes in if that's what your focus becomes, if you begin to think about maintaining, and that becomes your goal of getting a building, getting property, getting to the point where you can have full-time paid staff, then it can become an issue. It can get in the way of fulfilling the Great Commission. It can get in the way of being on mission with God. And that's the most important thing. We need to be making disciples. Sure, we can use all of those things that we think of when we think of church to help us make disciples. Yeah, they can be great tools, but at the same time, they can also become some of our greatest obstacles. So, for me, it boils down to people in relationship on mission. That is the church.